What's cooking? This your main man LowwCook of LowwCookProduction.com, the place where we have the recipe for your creative success, and you're watching my top 3 on Watch Me Cook TV. I'm a beat maker, producer, engineer, and I use a lot of different tools when I'm doing my job. But today, I want to specifically focus on the top 3 EQs that I use every time I create music. I really like all 3 of these EQs, and I would like it if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and ring that dinner bell so you can be notified on what's new on the menu. Let's get cooking. Number 1 EQ that I want to talk about today is the SSL E-channel strip from Waves. Now, you can get this EQ on waves.com, and no, I'm not sponsored by Waves. I would like to be, but I'm not, and I'm not tripping. I like their products, I purchased their products, and I think you would like them too. This EQ is like a software emulation of the SSL boards. You know, the really big mixing boards that you see in a lot of people's studios. And, you know, guys like, I want a mixing board like that. I wouldn't know what to do with all those buttons though. And it's like, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. And this channel strip is a digital version of track channels on an SSL mixing console. It has a gate, a filter, as well as a compressor on there along with the EQ, but I just use it for the EQ. With this EQ, it gives a nice analog type of coloration to whatever sounds that you are sending through that channel. It's not too much to where you really notice it, but you can feel it more than you hear it. And that's why I like that EQ. The number 2 EQ that I want to talk about today is another EQ from Waves, and it's the F6 floating EQ dynamic. Now, what I mean by dynamic is that you can affect different frequencies on those 6 points dynamically. Like the way a compressor kicks in when something is too loud or too low, it's the same way with the frequencies if they're too loud or too low with this EQ. And the main thing, another thing that I really like about it, because having it being dynamic, that is a very helpful tool. But another thing that I really like about it is the fact that this EQ has a spectral analyzer in it. That means you can see the frequency spectrum moving within the EQ. It's an awesome tool. It definitely helps. I'm an engineer that likes to use my ears as well as my eyes to get the job done. It just makes it faster to have 2 ways to know how to do what you need to do and fix what you may need to fix, or enhance what you need to enhance, or subtract what you need to subtract. Awesome EQ. You guys make sure y'all go check it out. Number 3, and this is my favorite one, is the FL Studio Parametric EQ2. Yeah, I know I said 2, but it's actually number 3 on my list, and it's the best that I'm saving for last. I like this EQ so much because I use it on every track. I mean, I put that on everything 90% of the time that I am making a beat. This EQ, really, I've been using it for a long time, for years, since FL Studio put it into the DAW. And it's awesome because it has a spectral analyzer. It was the first EQ that I saw that had a spectral analyzer in it. It made things so much easier. It made it so much easier to get the drums kicking the way that I wanted to and sounding the way that I wanted to, have my pianos sound lush and sound proper. Like, it made it so much easier to do the job, and that's the main thing that attracted me to it. The other thing that I really like about it is the way that it looks, the colors in it, the way that it reacts to the wave files or the sounds or the samples that you send through this EQ. Awesome EQ. And they were doing this before anybody else that I know of had a spectral analyzer built into a digital EQ. I don't even think they know what they were really. I don't know if they know what they really was on with that. Like, a lot of people underestimate it, but man, awesome EQ, my favorite EQ. So that was my top 3 EQ plugins that I use. I'm gonna make more videos talking about the software that I use when I'm doing my job, so that you guys can get a glimpse of, how I do what I do. And, if you got any questions, feel free to, inbox me, hit the comments. I'll tell you what I can. I'm going to talk about more plugins that I like, and I'm also going to talk about some of the VSTs, my top 3 VSTs, things of that nature. And hopefully you guys dig the series. Go check out some more of my top 3 in the My Top 3 playlist series. And feel free to check out some of the other videos on the channel at Watch Me Cook TV. Appreciate you guys' support. Cook out.